Hello, Sagittarius. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, November 2025 horoscope. We're going to break it down week by week, as well as some big picture thoughts about your time in the month of November, particularly that you're probably going to change your mind about something pretty important. And also that you have some interesting developments on the financial front in money that can come to you in a bit of a chunk. You don't have to work for it. We're going to break that down as well. Don't forget, this is just general astrology, but if you're listening for your sun sign, it's your career purpose, your moon sign, your home, your nest, where you live, your emotions, but also your rising sign is quite circumstantially accurate for most part. Most people love it because it does help you time your best life. And if you don't know your rising sign, definitely listen for your sun sign for sure. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Lori Lothian. We're using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, fixed stars, and minor asteroids. Today, we're going to talk about this beautiful grand trine in the sky that's going to dominate the whole month of November and how it might impact you, as well as Mercury retrograding in your sign. So the other thing I want to tell you is that we have a Time Your Best Life 2026 opportunity for you. Instead of wandering through the world, wondering what's happening next, have your own personal 2 to 2.5 hour video by me for your sign with a PDF guidebook to help you navigate 2026 with a little bit of a heads up. And that will be a big picture overview plus the month-by-month breakdown of your life in 2026. So grab that down below in the description box. It's my pre-sale price, $44 instead of $66. You're not getting the product till it's finished, and that's be December 1st. It'll be delivered to your inbox. It's great for friends and family because it's the all signs bundle. I'm not pre-selling individual signs. So you can get all signs, listen for Sun, Moon, and Rising, and share with friends and family for stocking stuffers. It'll be a PDF download that's delivered to your inbox that then gives you links to the secret hidden videos for your sign. All right, so let's get going and let's talk about this store. And it's a fundraiser for every year. I buy equipment. This time I'm going to create a scholarship fund to let some students who can't afford my classes, or some people maybe who can't afford a reading, be able to do that. So there's multiple uses for the funds. Buy more equipment, like my great MacBook Pro you guys helped me buy. Thank you for last year's fundraiser. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is the sky's entrance and exit kind of Mercury for you. I'm going to show you the sky because you really are being impacted by the Mercury retrograde in November more than most other signs because it's in your sign. So Mercury retrograding in Sagittarius is part of a 2024 into now, at the end of 2025, elemental fire year where Mercury has been retrograding in Leo and Aries and Sag. So all of these signs have had a lot of Mercury attention. And so it's important that this is the last time that this is happening for you in 7 years. And so what you're going to notice here for you, that the fire signs are Dharma houses, 5, 9, and 1. It's like, what's my meaning in life? What's my purpose? How do I align with my purpose? Where's my true north? And you might have noticed, Sagittarius, that you have been trying to find that alignment for the last 2 years. Funny, I have a Sag guy friend of mine, and he always goes on these El Camino pilgrimages, but he really ramped it up to India and the El Camino during this summer's elemental fire season in which Mercury is retrograding in his 9th house. So there's a lot to say about this, but you're trying to find meaning and purpose. That could include pilgrimages, guides, mentors, teachers, more creative impulse, more attending to what brings you joy and a real enthusiastic pleasure for life. You're trying to find that, right? That's what you're doing. And Mercury helps you with that. He's your messenger of the gods. So I want you to pay attention to the idea here that as we begin the month, Mercury is already in Sagittarius on November the 1st, but he wants to continue to go forward and he can't. He bumps into the 6th degree and retrogrades on November 10th. And then trundles back to your 12th house, which is good for your dreams at night, being very revealing, on November 19th to December 12th. So in that regard, you've got this Mercury element that wants to move forward in your sign. Sun is career, moon is your home and nest. Rising sign can be any ideas or thoughts or whatever that you have or announcements that you make. And you think you know which direction you're going, and you're like deadheading there, and then bang, November the 10th, you change your mind or redirect and go backwards to really think about it. And you go back all the way here. It's going to be taking you into your inner life, your solitude, ashram, spiritual retreats, timeout corner, where you ponder the meaning of life more deeply until December 12th, when you come back and now you're ready to make decisions. So there's a bit of advice I have for you. Don't stick with something. You're already mutable. You're willing to change your mind, a mutable sign. You will get to around the 10th or so of the month and realize that something you thought you were ready to to decide or know or go forward with, you might change your mind. That's okay. You need the downtime. You need November 19th to December 12th, Mercury back in your 12th house, to then go forward. December 12th, add 3 weeks, and you're off to the races. So give yourself permission to lay low, not make major life decisions yet. Wait a while. Okay. That's a backdrop story. Let's get going on the week by week of what's happening here. November the 1st, Saturn and Jupiter are trining each other. Take a look at that. Saturn, right? Jupiter. This is an inheritance house. This is chunky money, tax rebates, investment payoffs, spousal support, surging money to do with those things, including like unexpected windfalls, just money coming, even a sale of a property, and liberating money from real estate, or definitely inheritance from the family of origin. And all month long, Jupiter and Saturn are going to trine because of stationary, direct, and retrograde motions. So you're going to find that you've got the stability, perseverance, and discipline to work out the rewards of the money in your life story. Now, this could be a lot of things. You might want to incorporate. You might be busy working on tax structures. You might be getting an accountant or financial advisor to give you the financial rewards of money making money, or money that you're not earning, or money that you've inherited, or money that you will get in a spousal separation. You might be looking at the legalities of that as well. And you've got this kind of sturdy, steadfast, sturdy, disciplined, and perseverant pacing about getting it all done during the month of November, if that is something you're thinking of. That includes taking all the steps necessary in a measured way to, say, sell a property, sell a home. And that's something that dominates the entirety of November. Now, Venus squaring Jupiter as we begin the month is another story to pay attention to. Venus is in the house of windfalls and pennies from heaven, these great gains of your career as well. Jupiter is in the chunky money house, and it's opposite Chiron in the house of our natural gifts and talents, our children, our enjoyment and pleasures in life, our enthusiastic inspiration and creativity. Well, it looks to me like you're trying to heal a chironic wound that you've been dealing with here. This is also love, romance, and sex, and your children, and wounded children, wounds with your children, wounds with your romantic life, sexual life, who knows? And then all of a sudden, Venus is hooking up to Chiron to help heal that wound, and Jupiter is bringing opportunities. Well, there's a lot of ways it could play out. A golden financial opportunity for one of your children, a way that you are going to come into a new romantic love story through social groups, friendships, and networks introducing you, a kind of financial bounty or sudden increase of your money through your career gains, in particular, healing a wound around the artist or the creative in you. Maybe all at once, suddenly something that you created, an entrepreneurial business, an artistic project, pays off as a financial gain. Those are some options for you. I hope it goes well. Now, on November the 4th to the 6th, Mars is going to have an opposition to Uranus. Mars has been in Scorpio, all right, all the way from September 22nd to when he crosses over on the 4th. Now, Mars in your 12th house may have made you, it could have given you, sorry, guys, could have given you opportunities to travel abroad. It may have also involved somebody in the hospital in your life. It could, injuries or high fevers or surgical procedures of someone you know in the hospital. And it also just might have meant that you were very passionately, aggressively pursuing something in your downtime, in your solitude. However, hidden enemies as well may have popped out of the woodwork, not wishing you well. People that you thought had your back didn't. Now that started September 22nd. It's over November the 4th. And Mars is in your first house or with your sun and moon. And energetically speaking, this is a very powerful time for you to be decisive and take necessary action and cut, end, and sever jobs, people, and situations in your life that you know are no longer useful to you and doesn't really work for you anymore, particularly at your marriage house. You're looking across at significant relationships in your life, like a marriage, like a long-term love partner, and you've got like a sword in your hand. So you might be more aggressive with them, but you might also be more decisive. You might want to decide not to have that relationship. And one of the things you'll notice that with Uranus and Mars opposite each other, it's a shock. You're shocked that you're saying, I'm done. They're saying they're done. And you're shocked that you're okay with it, like good riddance, that kind of thing. Something like that could happen. On the other hand, something going on in your client audience marketplace surprises you and you're ready to take some deliberate action. This takes us back to 2024, July. I'll be doing a separate video on this. So this is a story that started up in July. So if there's an unstable marriage type relationship, then that's just going to hit an all-time peak of stress. I wouldn't start a new relationship dating wise under this energy at all. So just stay clear of that. There's too much tension in the sky for that to really have a long lasting benefit to you. Now, the next thing I want you to be aware of is the week 7th to the 14th of November. You'll notice a few things are happening. Venus will square Pluto. As soon as we get here, Venus is going to come into the sign of Scorpio and square Pluto on November 7th. Oops, I forgot something. I apologize. There's a moon, the full moon in Taurus in your 6th house on November 5th at 13 degrees of Taurus. A fullness is a completion, a fulfillment. Now, there's a lot of things that can fulfill and complete from seed you planted 6 months ago. And it could be the completion of a karmic debt relationship. It could be the completion or ending of a literal debt, like especially with Jupiter in the 8th house, paying off a credit card, paying off a mortgage. It could be money owed to you, coming to you. It could be something to do with a fulfillment of a desire for a pet. It could be the completion or the fulfillment of a health challenge. It's an exalted moon. It's in good shape and it's blessed by Lord Jupiter and the North Node as well. So it does bring you some financial increase, a new job opportunity, some chunks of money. It's a good moon, and it's not all going to happen on the full moon. It could take up to 6 months to unfold. You should have evidence for what it's about within 2 weeks. And with Venus, the Lord of the Lunation in the 11th house, it can bring you a feeling of windfalls or pennies from heaven, but it's connected to maybe to work and to home and to banking institutions, for example. And Venus will be leaving Libra. Venus is very happy here. She's in her dignity. She's in her home kingdom. You have probably benefited as Libra. Venus, October 14th to November 6th, brought you social engagements, fun with friends, a feeling of positivity, support from allies, benefactors, and a sibling older, and just more prosperity from your career than you normally would have, should you have a career. And then she's moving across the boundary and squaring Pluto on November 7th. Venus is in detriment in this sign. She's not doing well. And she's squaring Pluto, and Pluto's fine. He's not weak here. So possibly there's going to be a power struggle over something to do with you and a cousin, aunt, uncle, or sibling, neighbor, power struggle. It could potentially involve things that were contentious in the past, but also with Venus here, there is almost like being sideswiped, right? You didn't see it coming, hidden enemy vibe. So you particularly might find it's from a sibling, given this condition, but it could be from anywhere and anywhere. And if it's a sibling, it might be arguments about property, land, and real estate, special or inheritance and legacy wealth if you're coming into inheritances. And there's sort of a jolt, a power struggle connected to those types of people in your life. If you wanted to go on a trip, I don't care if it's short or long distance, there's going to be some kind of power struggle or blockage showing up around November 7th to the 9th. Now, on November the 7th as well, 7th, 8th, time zone dependent, we're going to notice that Taurus, Uranus story picking up here. You've had Uranus traveling through your house of long-term committed marriage and love and client, audience, and marketplace and legal contracts ever since July. Early July, and now he's backtracking to finish up something he started back in 2018 in your 6th house. Now, for some of you in the relationship sector, probably October 29th, 29th, 30th, 31st, you had an opposition from Mercury. So there might have been some shocking developments in a long-term love relationship at that time. But now information, news, shock, surprise. But now we got this back to this 6th house story. And the 6th house story is really like, what have you been going through in your work life and health challenges since 2018? Rental properties and pets as well. Up and down, erratic, staccato, changeable, unexpected developments. Okay, rugs are pulled up from underneath you. You have a job, you don't have a job. You have no health problems, you have these health problems. You got pet, no pet, whatever. Things have been chaotic, but exhilarating in that part of your sky. This is your last chance. These are your last lessons. If you have debts and debt issues, you might have paid it off and you had a sudden debt. You've been up and down like a yo-yo, perhaps, in this part of the chart, including health problems connected to shoulders and neck, perhaps, maybe face, and maybe your electrical and nervous system, like the nerves in your body, including your brain. Now, this is coming to an end, but you're in the grand finale. And this is more positive than negative because there's a beautiful flow from Lord Jupiter here, and can allow for you to suddenly pay off or pay down a massive debt owed to you to suddenly return, and to really have a surge of shifts around money, land, property, real estate, legacy wealth, inheritance, and shares resources with a spouse, including opportunities for spousal separation assets to work favorably for you. And you know, your Uranus is going to be here retrograding, or just here and then direct motion, but he'll be in your Taurus sky till next April 29th. So you're going through a lot of energetic last finishing touches on a 2018 till now story, right? And then you're going to work on this one next. And if you're married, it's going to be very unstable energy coming your way over the next 7 years. I will give you that. I've seen like that transit look for my clients, like polyamory or marriage sabbaticals, or, you know, more freedom for the partners, big long time outs. I'll see you like in 2 years and we'll see if we like each other, that kind of stuff. Now, Jupiter will retrograde on November the 11th, and that's important, because he has been giving you an attempt at some chunky money. He's planting seeds for property sale, refinancing, mortgages, inheritance monies, spousal separation monies. He's been planting seeds there since June, and now he's retrograde to deepen them, to really rethink them. And it's a really introspective energy. If you're on a spiritual enlightenment path, it'll deepen your enlightenment. You might find yourself going deep into the occult mysteries, finding a teacher for tarot, numerology, astrology, or even going more deeply into your spiritual attainment and wanting to liberate from the matrix, to disidentify from your egoic consciousness. And Jupiter inward can really support that deep spiritual dive. Otherwise, you're taking sort of a pause on everything. Like, okay, you may not want to stay with the person you're with, but if you're going to have separation and divorce settlements, and he's the god of justice, other than going back to a lawyer you've been to before, which you may actually, you may just take a kind of downwinding thinking about it until next March 11th, because Jupiter tends to be less outward active and more inward during this transit. And so it's more like an introspection, reflections, and wisdom that you wish to come to the right decisions. And there's a square to Chiron in the house of sexuality and romantic love. So definitely can be about shared resources with a partner in love, and some wounds that you're healing about the relationship and the romance. And they're going deep, you're going inward here. If you're not in a relationship, then don't worry about it. It's other stuff going on here. Maybe some challenges with your children, and a wound you're trying to heal with that child, and money issues with that child. You're trying to resort to a healing energy here too. Moving onward then, November the 11th to the 13th, Mercury will have a head-on collision with Mars. That's because Mercury, as I said, retrograded here on the 10th, and then bang, bumps into Mars. This is going to be activating around the 11th to the 13th, and you're going to have some information that requires active decision making in a timely and maybe somewhat urgent manner. And so you might be finding yourself going, okay, I've got the info, I've got this news, I got this information, this paperwork, this email, phone call, text, whatever it is. And now I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to take an action. It's going to be all at once, right? So 11th to the 13th is kind of like a whoosh energy. You're going to get it done. You know, it's time. Got to figure it out. It may be about money, because Mars is the exaltation lord of your money house. It may be about ending addictions and self-undoing, 12th house stuff. It may be sudden decisions. I'll be doing a video on this you want to make about your children, or long-term love, romance and long-term love. And all of a sudden you're like, you got it. You're clear to go. It's like when they say you're cleared for takeoff, right? You're cleared to make the decisions you need. You've got the information you need, and you're going to act on it. And it's not a surprise, because really Mercury retrograde says you've been thinking about this thing for a long time, but now you got the last piece of information you need for whatever that decision is. It could also be decisions about your home, where you live, your career. There's many types of decisions that can unfold off of this. On the next week, which is the week of the 14th to the 21st, we have some interesting stories. One is the golden opportunity of the sun trining Jupiter. Now, the sun is here and Jupiter is here. And you'll notice as we move towards the 14th, 15th, and 16th, that we get this beautiful flow between Jupiter and the sun. And it's pretty exact here on the 17th. So yeah, we can go even further. You know, like 15th, sorry, is the 15th to the 17th. It's pretty activated. If there's somebody in a hospital setting who is passing away or getting sick or in hospice or something like that, This could be male or female with this storyline. Then there's this story of clarity around finances, legacy, wealth. This would be an elder, Saturn, and money that could come to you. Golden opportunity, a sad one, but there it is. It also could open up something to do with an opportunity for international travel and traveling away from home. And even for a very few of you, an opportunity to relocate your home to another country from the one in which you currently live. And you'll see that opening up on the 15th to the 17th. It's good for mortgages, property buying, and property selling, and golden opportunities there as well. And then we look at the next story on November 17th. On November 17th, Mercury will sextile Pluto. Now, Mercury has moved backwards and is just about, but not ready to cross into Scorpio. And here he's going to flow to Pluto. Pluto is that sibling, especially younger than you. This is one younger, cousins, aunts, uncles, neighbors, and neighborhood. This can be about a commercial transaction. This could be about information revealed. Could be about understanding a situation with clarity that you didn't have before. And it involves a sibling in particular. You're going to work out some difficult energy that could have been earlier, a power struggle, and now you're negotiating or clearing the air. Same thing with your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, and your neighbors. Same kind of clarity around revealing what you need to know to negotiate and no longer be in a power struggle. Then on November 19th, we have a new moon. Well, Mercury trines Neptune. Well, Mercury trine Neptune is highly psychic. And if you want to think about your dreams at night, which are activated by the 12th house as well as the 9th, but in this case, the 12th house, but Lord of the 9th as well, I want you to get a dream journal, stick it by your bed, and wait to get a message. It could come into meditation. Sorry, guys, I'm getting over this. I didn't get it, but everyone around me has this like cold, sore throat thing, and I've been fighting it off. So I would say to you, this is a perfect opportunity to ask for divine assistance. Jupiter in the 8th house, especially, to ask the guides, the dead people, the ancestors, your inner self, to give you clarity through a dream or an insight or a synchronicity. Something magical wants to be opened up for you, and it's going to get even better because stay with me here. Because first of all, we have the new moon. The new moon is happening at 28 degrees on the 19th. There's a fresh start, a new beginning with Venus here in detriment. It's perfect for indicating potential for the next 6 months that follow the November 19th new moon to completely end an addiction or self-undoing pattern or habit with a kind of extra superpower, an assist from Lord Jupiter especially, and have lasting change as you let go of the weed, the wine, the vape, whatever it is you do. Another element here would be spiritual awakening and a moon that opens up a beautiful once in a lifetime doorway to spiritual enlightenment. Another aspect of this energy is that you might have some stories going on in the 6 months that follow about eldering, family members, inheritance, and hospitals. And there's a ping by the moon on November 19th. Look to the 2 weeks that follow for evidence that that story could unfold over 6 more months afterwards. Like you hear that, great grandma Susan has a congestive heart failure. That's pretty well terminal, and eventually that means she's leaving. So you might notice that kind of stuff comes to light in the 2 weeks that follow this moon. And then the humdinger for you guys, for enlightenment, for divine downloads, from great dreams that tell you the meaning of your life, is going to be the November the 20th. Mercury in the heart of the sun, Cazimi. It's powerful and it's rare. I'm doing a webinar on that, and it's free. It forms a kite on top of it all. It really points to breaking karmic patterns, ancestral patterns in your life once and for all, as well as opportunities to shift your job environment and work environment to something so different, so new. And for some of you, change your residence to a country other than the one you live in. So many layers to this, but all I'll say is that when Mercury's in the heart of the sun on November 20th, you're getting a download, you're getting an insight. You want to use it. So come to my class, come to my free webinar. There's no strings attached. You can tip me if you want and learn all about it. Description box to sign up. There's limited spots. So if you get in, you get in. Now, also, the last thing I want to say is that having a new moon in Scorpio that is also flowing to Jupiter, flowing to Saturn, Neptune, North Node, all of that stuff is as rare as like 1895, right? So there's something magical that really wants to change here. And it really does point to your home. And I don't know if you're going to move your home, sell your home, buy a new home in the 6 months that follows, but some major changes are happening in your home. There's no doubt about it. You could even expand your home, but it's very unlikely that 6 months will pass and your home is exactly as it was, right? Or your legacy wealth didn't show up or something like that. Or you didn't refinance your mortgage or buy a bigger house or sell your other one and get a lot of money. Like vibing out, guys. Get the vibe. All right. The last week of the month is one big story. It's a big triangle. This is the triangle that dominates, November 20th to the end of the month. It has some different elements to it bit by bit. All said and done, every theme I've just kept talking about and yattering about, home, property, real estate, legacy, wealth, changes, enlightenment, all of that's true. It's just who holds the kite? Who holds the kite? Well, first of all, the kite is kind of November 19th to the 21st, the sun is dominating the kite. I'm not the kite, dominating well, it is a kite too, but dominating the water trine. We're going to keep it simple. Water trine. What does that water trine want to do for you? It wants to do all the things I mentioned. Nothing you don't want to, like, it's good, right? You're going to get some money out of this, or you're going to get that separation agreement finally formed. You're going to move to a new home, or you're going to sell your property. But sun is supporting these elements to happen. Then we move forward, and Mercury now takes the gauntlet, and he's the one, or the handle of the triangle, and he's going to work it. This could indicate on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th, phone calls, text messages, and emails, including back channels. This is the land of back channel diplomacy, your 12th house, secret conversations, backroom deals and negotiations about getting something you want to work. Okay. Yeah. Like getting it to happen. And you've got that powerful Mars in your sign to make you a go-getter, to make it happen. In fact, Mars will be at the bending of the nodes of fate for the world on November 24th. But for you, it's a pivotal life turning point about what you need to let go of in your life in order to attain what you desire and what you need to surrender. And it could be a marriage, 10th house. It could be weddings, marriage. It could be surrendering a reputation, surrendering a career path, surrendering a father figure. You have to let it go because something else wants to show up. Now, as we continue onward and we move through the story, watch Venus take the handhold. Look at her. I've got the handhold on this triangle. I'm going to carry this baby next. Now, she's the last one to really work it. And as she's getting ready to do so, you're going to notice that both Mercury and Venus are going to hold hands as well. They're going to join forces together. Technically, it's going to happen, I believe, on the 24th, 25th, time zone dependent. Information, news coming across the transom to do with windfalls, career gains, money, domicile, home, property, and matters connected perhaps to debts, debt elimination, jobs, pets. But it's information, news that Venus is connected to. Those are her areas of influence. And then what happens if she really holds the kite next? And so around November 26th, this benefic planet is bringing her best to the story and trying to activate the themes I've talked about from her own best placement. You might have a sibling, one older than you, lending a hand, being a part of this kite, assisting it. You might have an employee or an animal involved, a pet. Supporting this whole story somehow, like you get your dream pet suddenly in your house, or your elder sibling is giving you a hand to make something happen on the money, property, financial front. Now, she's going to come into the opposition to Uranus right here. It starts to build up on the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Okay. And then she crosses over on December 1st. So you're really noticing some unexpected things happening because Uranus is a surprise. This is that kind of kite that we keep talking about. You might find that there is a bit of a surprise regarding pets, rental property opportunities, debts, indebtedness, financing, money owed to you, health matters, and probably an improvement with that water trine energy that surprises you. And it's really great for breaking free and breaking through of things that hold you back when it comes to karmic debts, addictions, and self-undoing, and having sort of an illumination and breaking free. Now, we're going to draw a card from the Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz. I'm losing the light in Vancouver, Canada, recording this for you and my Patreon community October 22nd. So I notice it's getting dark in here. Maybe I can like level this baby up. No, I'm on full light on my laptop. So it's a dreary, dark, and cloudy day in Vancouver, Canada. Thus, I am in the dark. All right, we're going to draw a card for you. And you have the eagle. Well, it's an eagle's eye view that'll get you where you want to go in the month of November. Let's read the keywords from her book. So, eagle's eye view for you, Sagittarius. You love that, right? You're a fire sign. You got the arrow flying through the sky. You need the eagle's eye view for aiming, aiming, aiming. And where are you? There we are. Eagle's got to be high level energy. Hawk. There's a hawk. There's a nightingale. A crow. I love crow energy, guys. Owls. Oh, dragonflies. Vultures. Sorry, she doesn't have alphabetical, not hummingbirds and bees. I thought the eagle should have been like right up there in the top of the, like she kind of orders them in terms of archetypal superiority. I would have thought eagle would have been in the top. Peacock, hawk. Maybe it was there and I just missed it. Yeah, it was the last one. All right. So November for you, Sages, you are, if you're in alignment, if you're flowing with your spiritual nature, you are all pervading power. You are all pervading power. You are a truth seeker. You've got Mars in your sign if you want all pervading power. You are a truth seeker and you transform your karma. Yes, because your 8th and 6th house, very karmatic, are involved in the sky with Uranus and the triangle. They're in the kite, basically. When you're in balance in November, you are bright, radiant. You're bright and you're radiant. Bright, radiant challenges. When you're out of balance, you are controlling. And to bring yourself into balance in November, you need to step into the unknown. Step into the unknown. That's what we got for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, come join me on the free webinar for Mercury retrograde, and consider buying the $44 12 videos times 2 to 2.5 hours. That's a lot of content plus a PDF guidebook for the year. All of that is to say you're helping me raise money for my channel and you're getting something that never goes on YouTube. Okay. So if you want that guidance from me in that kind of depth, that's my yearly fundraiser. Take care, everyone. Ciao, ciao.